All right, let's talk about something that a lot of people think about, but, well, not a lot of people actually do. Starting a YouTube channel after you've hit 40. Is it a huge disadvantage? Or, just maybe, could it be your secret weapon? We're going to find out.
So let's just get right to it. The big question, probably the one you're asking yourself right now. Is it too late for me? Did I miss the boat? Isn't YouTube just for, kids? Look, it's a totally normal fear, and it's the thing that stops so many people before they even hit record for the first time. But the answer? It's probably not what you're expecting. And this quote right here, this gets to the absolute heart of the matter. You see, the single biggest factor for success on YouTube, it isn't your age, it's not your tech skills, it's not even the algorithm. It's your mindset. It's all about how you frame this entire journey for yourself.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about the hidden, and I mean really hidden, advantage of starting later in life. Then we'll get into those common mental blocks and give you some practical ways to reframe them. After that, we'll look at how to turn your actual life experience into amazing content. And we'll wrap it all up with the habits and goals that are going to build real momentum.
Okay, let's dive into our first section, the over 40 advantage. The biggest shock for most new creators isn't figuring out the software. It's realizing that almost all the real challenges, they're mental.
Yeah, these are the thoughts that can kind of keep you up at night, right? It's not about the editing software. It's about that little voice in your head telling you that you don't belong here, that you'll look silly, and if you let them, those inner scripts will absolutely sabotage your dream before it even gets going.
And this slide, this shows the fundamental pivot you have to make. On one side, you have the fixed mindset, which says, nope, I'm too late. But on the other, you have the growth mindset. And this changes the entire game. It says, you know what? This isn't a lottery ticket. This is a skill, a business skill that I can learn and develop over time. This is exactly where that growth mindset becomes your superpower. Suddenly, your age isn't a barrier, it's a filter that attracts the exact kind of mature audience you want. You avoid burnout because you see this as a marathon, not a sprint. And most importantly, your decades of experience become your single greatest asset, letting you build a channel on trust and real quality, not just some fleeting trend.
So how do we actually do this? In this next section, we're getting tactical. It's one thing to talk about mindset, but it's another thing to actually change how you think. So let's break down the most common mental roadblocks and give you a brand new script to read from.
First one up is the age block. The old script says, I'm too late, but the new reframe, it's I'm specialized. You're not trying to compete on trends and hype. You're here to serve an audience that is actively searching for depth, for wisdom, and for real-world insight.
Next up, the tech block. Oh, I'm just bad with tech. That's just a story you've been telling yourself. It's not a fact. The reframe is realizing you are 100% capable of learning a new system. And once you do, tech stops being this scary obstacle and becomes an incredible tool that multiplies your voice and your message.
Oh man, this is a huge trap, especially for professionals. You're used to being good at what you do, so you feel like your first video has to be this polished masterpiece. But that perfectionism, it kills the one thing you need most to grow, reps and feedback. The new rule is so simple. Ship the video, get it out there, and then just improve one small thing on the next one. Maybe the title, maybe the hook, just one thing.
And finally, we've got the time block. This one usually sounds like, okay, I'll give this a try for 3 months and see what happens. But that's setting yourself up to fail, because real growth on YouTube takes time. The reframe is to commit to a process, not an outcome. Instead of some arbitrary deadline, set an output goal. I'm going to make 50 videos. That shifts your entire focus to learning and getting better, which, by the way, is what actually drives results. All right, so we've got our mindset straight. Now let's talk about the fun part, content. How in the world do you turn all that life experience into videos people actually want to watch? Well, the answer is simpler than you think. Your history is your content library. Whatever you do, don't run from your age and your experience. Run towards it. Lean all the way in. The most successful creators in this demographic don't try to act young. No, they make their stories, their skills, and yeah, even their mistakes and scars the absolute centerpiece of their channel.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Teach from scars, not theories. See, anybody can read a book and repeat some information, but only you can teach the lessons you learned the hard way. That's where the real value is. That's how you build a real connection and earn trust. It is your ultimate unfair advantage. So let's get really practical here. How do you actually weaponize your experience? Well, you can frame topics through your career, like that 30-year contractor example. You can use a hook like, I learned this the hard way so you don't have to. You can package your decades of knowledge into simple playbooks. Serve people who are in your exact life stage, dealing with your same problems. You don't need to invent new topics. Just document the problems you're already solving every day.
Okay, you've got the right mindset, you've got a content strategy, but how do you turn all of that into actual momentum? Our final section is all about building the daily habits and setting the right kind of goals to make this whole thing stick.
Being confident on camera isn't a personality trait you're born with. It's a skill you build with reps. These 4 simple habits make that process way less scary. The private video log just gets you comfortable seeing yourself on camera. The warm-up calms your nerves. Talking to one person makes it feel like a conversation, not a performance. And having a strong, simple outline frees up your brain so you can just be you.
This mindset shift is also absolutely crucial when it comes to setting goals. The old way is to focus on outcomes you can't control, like subscriber numbers. The new, better way is to focus on processes you can control. You can't force someone to subscribe, but you absolutely can control how many videos you publish and how hard you work on improving your viewer retention.
You see, this is all about playing the long game. Focus on what you can control, your upload schedule, the quality of your thumbnails. Give yourself a realistic timeline. Think 1 to 2 years, not just a few months. And always align your goals with your real why. Is it to find clients, sell a course, or just to express your creativity? Know that answer.
And here's what that long game can look like. Please do not expect to go viral in your first month. It often takes 3 months to a full year just to get some traction and figure out what's working. But if you stick with it, in 1 to 3 years, you're not just making videos anymore. You're building a serious, valuable asset for your business or your personal brand.
So you see, this isn't about age, and it's definitely not about being late to the party. This is about leveraging your wisdom, your unique experience, to start the next exciting chapter of your life. So the only real question left is, what's yours going to be?